All right. We are live. I'm going to give a couple minutes for people to gather up. There wasn't a ton of interest in this position from my prospect videos, but I know some people are going to care about this, so I thought I'd go ahead and just do it. Man, something is up with the ME6 bot. Lately, it's taking like 5 full minutes, if not more, for it to actually post uh, upload announcements. Something's up with the bot. All right. Can people hear me? Okay. I'm going to give a couple more minutes for people to gather up. But I'm not expecting a big crowd for this position. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of gas behind us using a pick here. So we might only get a handful of people in here, but that's totally fine. I think this is important, and I think this is worth talking about. Ryguy, welcome. I'm assuming people can hear me. I'm getting every indication that my microphone is working. Hold. Okay. I'm going to give it like 20 more seconds, and then we're going to jump in here. Even if we only have a few people here, it's fine. Mostly just going to be reiterating a lot of the stuff I said in previous videos, but I'm going to give people in the chat the opportunity to give their 2 cents on who they like, who they don't like, or what they think of the prospects I propose. You guys know how we do it. I thought it'd be fun to do it. All right. Welcome, everybody. Small crowd today, but that's fine. We're going to be taking a look at some left tackles today in the draft. One of the three positions that I think the Seahawks need some help at. Not necessarily a lot, not necessarily immediate help, but we will definitely need help in 2022 and beyond. I don't think anybody expects Dwayne Brent. Hold on. The bot isn't working. Hold on. I think people in my server don't know about this because the bot is not working. All right. That'll do. Okay, so anyway, we got Dwayne Brown at left tackle. We know he's really good. He's also really old and he has a knee that is not holding up that well right now. We know these things, and yet we roll him out there in 2021 anyway, hoping that he can hold it together and give us one more good season before he retires. We're playing with fire. Behind him, we have Jamarco Jones, who might be decent at guard, but I don't think he has a future at left tackle. He might not have a future at tackle, period. I suspect Jamarco Jones does not have a future at left tackle. So we can throw him out there if we have to, I guess, but I would really prefer not to. I would really prefer to find a better solution. So, can that better solution be found in the draft this year? That's the question I'm asking. Can we draft a left tackle who can fill in for an injured Dwayne Brown in 2021 and take the starting job in 2022 and beyond? And this is a pretty good draft for left tackles. There are some guys who are going to go in the first round. There are going to be some guys who go way too high for the Seahawks to get. but there are going to be some guys we have the opportunity to take as well. So I've already made 2 videos going over my favorites. So let's go ahead and just start discussing them, and you guys can let me know what you think of them, if anything. So, as for what we're looking for in a left tackle, I expect Shane Waldron's going to want a mobile, agile, athletic left tackle to run his schemes. That's what I'm guessing. It's not guaranteed to be the case, but I have to believe he wants somebody with some mobility and agility, somebody who really knows how to protect the quarterback because he's a passing game coordinator, so I think he places a high value on the passing game. I want somebody who has a chance to be ready to play in the NFL in 2021 because Dwayne Brown is unlikely to make it through a full season. However, I will grant you that whoever we get should be able to develop for a full year before being asked to play significant time. He will play some, but not significantly. Demi Rodriguez, welcome. All right. So, first, let's take a look at some guys we could get in the top 100. These are some left tackles the Seahawks could feasibly get with a top 100 pick. These are my 5 main guys. I like some of them more than others, but all 5 of these guys are interesting to me. So let's just start at the top. Dylan Radnun's 23 years old from North Dakota State. This is the guy who protected Trey Lance's blind side. He was one of the reasons why Trey Lance played as well as he did last year. 6'6", 304 pounds, so he's tall. He could stand to put on a little more weight if he ends up needing to, but he's got the frame to put on more weight if need be. He ran a 5.1640, which is actually pretty good for a player of this size, so he's got reasonable foot speed. Pro Football Focus thinks he's going to be a first-round pick. Most publications think he's going to be a second-round pick. Most publications think he'll be gone in the early to mid-second round. But ESPN and Walter Football think he could go in the third. And I don't think that's going to happen, no way, no how. However, I do think that it is within the realm of possibility that Dylan Radnun's is there at 56. And I'm going to say this right now. If Dylan Radnun's is there at 56, you take him, you do not trade back, you just punch it in and go home feeling pretty good about yourself. He's a good athlete, and he has good mobility for a player of his size. I saw a couple of plays at North Dakota State where he was making blocks 30 yards down the field on Trey Lance scrambles. He knows how to move down the field, and he knows how to not give up on a play. He's also an excellent run blocker. A lot of these finesse guys are not good run blockers. This guy is an excellent run blocker. He's got a mean streak to match as well. Now, even though he's a good athlete and has mobility, he will need to develop some as a second-level blocker. I don't think he's bad at it, but I do think he has to develop at it a little bit. He has the frame to put on more weight if need be, though, so whatever he ends up needing to be in the NFL, I'm confident he can do it. Final note on Dylan Radnun's is some experts think he will end up playing right tackle in the NFL. Some of them just don't see him being a good enough pass protector to be left tackle, but most people seem to think he's going to be fine at left. So ideally, you're going to get somebody who can do both, because we may need both this year. It's possible that Shell gets hurt. It's possible that Dwayne Brown gets hurt. All right. So that's Dylan Radnun's. Really good prospect. Take him at 56. But this next guy, I actually like a little bit more. He's also not overly likely to be there at 56, but he has a chance. And if he ends up there, don't you dare trade back. You take him and you fist pump all the way to the podium. Samuel Cosmi. Samuel Cosmi. Hey, Yarly, what's up? Samuel Cosmi, 22 years old from Texas. 6'7". He's tall, 300 pounds. He's light in the frame, but he's got the frame to put weight on. He's light, but he can put on probably 20 pounds and not lose anything because of his frame. Runs a 4.85 40 time, guys. This guy runs faster than Colby Parkinson, and he's 6'7", 300 pounds. That's freaky stuff, man. Tankathon and Sporting News have him going at the back end of the first. Walter Football thinks he'll go in the first or second. And everyone else thinks he'll go in the second somewhere. Some places have him falling to our pick. Pro Football Network actually thinks he's going to be a high third rounder. I see Samuel Cosme being a late riser and somebody who could end up going in the bottom part of the first. But if things hold as they are now, this guy might be available at 56. He's got a ton of experience at left and right tackle, which is great for us because we need both right now. You could see Cosme playing snaps at both in his rookie year. He's got a huge frame, so he can put on bulk. If you don't like him at 300 pounds, you can get him up to 320 and no problem. You can probably get him up to 325 or 330 and it's fine because he's tall. He's great moving into the second level as a run blocker. I saw him make blocks down the field when I watched him play. He can handle that. He knows how to use his body position to create running lanes. I was very impressed with some of the stuff he did as a run blocker at Texas. His length gives him a big advantage against pass rushers. Hard to get around him because he's so tall and long. He's a solid athlete for his length and size. He does need to add some strength. Even though he's a really good run blocker, he needs to add some strength so he can just straight up bully guys in front of him from time to time. He does have a few technique issues that he overcomes at the college level with his athleticism. He needs to work on that in the NFL. You can't lean on that in the NFL. He does need to learn how to block a little bit lower. We all know that tall offensive tackles can sometimes struggle to get low enough. He does need to work on his ability to get down low. Final note on Cosme is he's a good candidate to start at right tackle before transitioning to the left side. So you might see him be a right tackle in the first year, maybe 2 years, and then become a left tackle going forward, which is fine for us. I got no problem with that. He just needs to add a little bit more strength in order to handle the left tackle spot. So those two guys are my home runs. Dylan Radnan's, Samuel Cosme. If we could get one of those two guys in the draft, I'm over the moon. Max, welcome to the stream, buddy. How's it going? We're working with a small crowd today. I'm going a little earlier than usual. I didn't schedule it ahead of time. And I don't think the left tackle position is one that people are jumping up and down about addressing, but I think it's important. So I'm going to spend some time here to discuss it. All right, so those are my two main guys. Let's keep going. Next up, we have Alex Leatherwood, 22 years old from Alabama, relatively young. This is a guy with some mass to his frame. He's 6'5", so he's a little shorter than the previous two guys we looked at, but he's already 312 pounds. So he's pretty big, and he's quick for a guy of his size. He runs a 4.9640. 4.9640 for a 312-pound dude is pretty good. Walter Football thinks he's going to be a first or second rounder. Pretty much everyone else thinks he's going to be a second rounder. Probably not going to be there when the Seahawks pick. He might be an early to mid-second rounder. Draft Network thinks he's going to fall to the third, though, so it's on the table. And if we get to 56 and Alex Leatherwood is there, I would not mind picking him. I'm not completely in love with it, but I would be open to it. One concern I have with Alex Leatherwood is he's a little bit guardy. He might be more of a guard in the NFL, but I feel like he could make it at tackle just because he's quick. He played tackle and guard at Alabama. He's already got a big frame, and he knows how to use his strength to win in the running game. This is a very strong dude. I actually disagree with what Max said. If there's something positive I can say about Leatherwood, it would be the fact that he's pretty strong and doesn't get pushed around. He's got a very clean pass protection skill set as well. He's got a clean all-around talent set. The main issue that I see with Leatherwood, besides the fact that he might be a guard in the NFL, would be he's not a great athlete. He's decent, but he is a little bit stiff, and sometimes you can outsmart him as an opposing pass rusher, it seems like. Does seem like he can get little brained on occasion. So there are some concerns I have here. He seems like he gets outsmarted by crafty pass rushers sometimes. He's not a great athlete. We don't know what he's going to do when you try to put him in space. He gave up the most pressures out of the top 8 tackles in the draft. Yeah, that might have something to do with him getting outsmarted by craftier pass rushers. When I think getting pushed around, I think run blocking, and I think this guy is a really good run blocker. Yes, Empower, I got a haircut. So Alex Leatherwood is somebody who I would be fine with, but I wouldn't be over the moon about. I think he's a good player. I think he may be able to play tackle in the NFL. He needs to get cleaner in his pass pro, but he has a little bit of time to work on it if he comes to Seattle because we've got our tackle situation pretty sorted. So we have one person in chat who isn't a big fan of Leatherwood, which I get. Hey Ethan, how's it going? Um, I have issues with Leatherwood too. It's not necessarily that I think he gets pushed around. It's that I think he might have some flaws in his game as a pass protector, which could lead to him moving to guard. Hey Austin. All right, next prospect we're going to take a look at here is Walker Little, 22 years old from Stanford. This guy is a physical freak. This guy's a freak. 6'7", 309 pounds, 4.8140. This guy is faster than Tyler Higbee, and he's 309 pounds. Well, UE2K, they wouldn't be taking Posic's job. They would be taking Shell's job, if anybody, as rookies. I think most of these guys could play right tackle for a year. So they could take Shell's job. Except for Walker Little, honestly, just because he hasn't played in 2 years. But I love Walker Little's potential. I got to give him that. So anyway, Walker Little, this guy's a freak, and because he's a freak, Pro Football Focus thinks he's going to be a first round pick. Everyone else thinks he's going to be a third or fourth round pick. I think he's probably going to be a third rounder. So this is not a bad guy to take if you're thinking, hey, let's get a guy to redshirt for a year and go behind Dwayne Brown in 2022. Now, I would not want to use my second round pick on a red shirt, but if you trade back to the third round and you can get another guy who's not going to redshirt, then I'm at least amenable to the idea of taking a third round redshirt. I want rookies who can contribute as rookies, but if you bring me, I don't know, Emar Smith-Marset or De'Ami Brown or Pat Freiermuth or Tommy Tremble or somebody like that, then I'm going to listen when you start talking about somebody like Walker Little, who is a bona fide rookie year redshirt. I think especially if you can get Walker Little at a value via trade back, which means you could also get another player. That's what I like. Yeah, exactly, Ethan. Walker Little's probably a third round pick. He's big and he's strong. He's got great length because he's 6'7". Should be great protecting against edge rushers, speed rushers on the edge because of his length. Hard to get around. He's a good athlete for his size. I mean, 4.8140 time doesn't lie. He's got strong hands. He's got vision. He's smart, as you would expect from a Stanford guy. He knows how to quickly identify what kind of pass rush he's dealing with and adapts to handle it. The only thing with Walker Little, other than his injuries, would be the fact that I don't know how much of a run blocker this dude is. I'm behind any picks that replaces any of the OL except RG and LT. Well, we can't replace Gabe Jackson. We just traded for him. I think Walker Little will go sooner than we expect. It's possible, but he hasn't played football in 2 years. Like, that's a gamble. Remember Willis McGahee was going to be a guaranteed top 5 pick, and then he broke his leg, and people were like, oh, well, we can't draft him, and then he was lucky to go in the first at all. It's tough, man. All right, so he hasn't played in 2 years because of injuries. He's not a great run blocker, but I really like Walker Little. And by the way, he could become a better run blocker when he puts on more muscle. And if he's big, strong, and fast, which could be very nice for Waldron's offense. Exactly. I see Walker Little fitting into this offense really well. I kind of like this guy's potential. My only beef is that he might redshirt as a rookie. And you know how I don't like that, but it might be worth it because he's so good potentially. Yeah, I don't like the centers in this draft very much, Yarley. That's kind of my thing. That's my hang up. Okay, final guy we're going to take a look at in this part of the video. I see. You're saying Gabe is the replacement. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Okay, final guy we're going to look at here is James Hudson. This guy's young. He's 21 years old from the Cincinnati Bearcats. I like him. He doesn't jump off the page like some of the other guys, but he's solid. 6'4", 302 pounds, big enough. You would like a little bit bigger from a left tackle, but it's fine. 5.3440, so he's a little slow, but fast enough to play left tackle in the NFL, I think. Basically, everybody thinks he's going third round. Draft Network says fourth round, but I expect this guy to be a third round pick, James Hudson. Dude, that is the biggest fly I've ever seen. Oh my God. That is the biggest fly I've ever seen. Jesus. Rabbit, yeah, we could do something like that. I wouldn't do it unless they were willing to part with 133, though. The centers in this draft are better than Posick, and that's all that matters. That's kind of the question, though. Like, if you get somebody like Creed Humphrey, who is better than Posick, but then you put him in a system that tells him to play on the move when he's never done that before, I don't know if that is better. I don't know. At the end of the day, you got to go to Waldron and ask him what he wants to do, and whatever he wants to do, you got to go with it. But if Waldron thinks he can make it work with a telephone booth center, then okay. But my gut tells me he doesn't like that. I'm gonna make a video about some of this stuff tomorrow, actually, because this is worth discussing. And as fans, we need to find a balance. You week 2K, I think his skill set is somebody who's going to be good playing on the move. I think his asset is that he's smart and that he's fast. And I think he can play in space. I think he can play on the move. I think he can move to the second level and be effective. Posick's problem is that he's not very good. He's not very strong when just taking on the guy right in front of him. So I feel like Posick might fit this offense if Waldron is implementing the offense that I think he is. I'm looking at some of these other guys and I'm like, okay, they're slower than Posick. They're not used to playing on the move, so I don't know. Okay, so anyway, real quick, let's knock out James Hudson. Has the combination of talent and mental fortitude to be a stud left tackle in the NFL. He's got pretty good size. He's got good length. He's powerful. He's got good mobility. He's got kind of the full package. Maybe he's not amazing. Maybe he's not amazing at any one thing, but he's good enough in all these areas to be a quality left tackle in the NFL. The thing with James Hudson that I don't like is this is another rookie redshirt, probably, because he only had 1 year of college football experience. You might not see him be in a starting lineup until year 3, and some people think he might be a right tackle even at that point. So James Hudson's good, but I'm not over the moon on this guy. But he's the only other guy I would consider taking in the first top 100 at left tackle. What if Posick gets injured? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I want to draft somebody like a Drew Dahlman. That's why I want to draft somebody like a James Morrissey, the Pittsburgh guy. There are centers in this draft who I like, but they're not the top guys. They're not guys who are going to be day one starters in all likelihood. We do have a couple guys who could move over Yarley, but I don't want to jack with the line if at all possible. So if Posick gets hurt, then I hope we can get somebody in the later rounds of the draft like Drew Dahlman. And I'm not super excited about throwing Dahlman out there, but I like Dahlman and I think he's going to be able to fit in on this offense. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at things right now. So, those are the top 100 prospects or maybe top 130, 140 prospects who I'm intrigued by. So, those are my main five. I like these guys. But that being said, I'm probably going to make a video about this tomorrow, but it is absolutely correct as fans for us always trying to get better with our roster. Okay? Nothing gets on my nerves more than people who say things like, we don't need Antonio Brown because we have Freddie Swain. Yeah, okay. Okay, guy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you build a team. Okay? So absolutely, we should be looking at a guy like Ethan Posick, who is probably, slightly above average. You should be trying to figure out how you can get a little bit better, and then a little bit better from that. The question is, can you? And I'm going to make a video kind of explaining my thought process on this stuff tomorrow. If Dylan Radnun's and Greg Newsome on the board, who would you take? God damn it, dude. You're killing me. Well, there's no way Newsome falls to us, but if he does, I would probably have to take him. AB is a mess off the boat. Why not bring him in? Yeah, okay. Freddie Swain has 13 career catches, and he was a seventh round pick, and he wasn't even good in college. Okay? So, if you can get somebody better than Freddie Swain, you need to do it. What if they move Damian Lewis to center? That's playing with fire, but it's a possibility. I mean, AB is not that bad. Okay? AB is not nearly as bad as somebody like Pac Man Jones. Okay? AB is just weird. All right. So we're going to look at four more prospects. These are some late round guys we could go get. But real quick, before I get to that part, I want to thank the 21, 22 people we have in the stream right now. Thank you for coming out to watch. Please like the stream if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a member by clicking the join button down below to support the channel and gain access to perks. And donations via Super Chat and PayPal are always appreciated. Okay, so these five guys on screen, these are my heavy hitters. Now let's go look at some sleepers and projects. These are guys who you draft and hope they turn into something in a year or two. They're not going to be killers from day one, and they have a high possibility of flaming out of the league. But I like them anyway because I think they have that potential. So here we go. These are your round 5 through UDFA prospects. Uh, oh, Big Dog. Yeah. Hell yeah, Big Dog. I'm fist pumping my way to the podium if we can do that. Look, I mean, what I know is this: Landon Dickerson. I don't want anything to do with that. You can talk me into Creed Humphrey or Josh Myers. Quinn Miernans, I don't think you can do it. I can't take Quinn Miernans seriously. Sorry, guys. That's what I'm going to say about center. You can talk me into Creed Humphrey or Josh Myers, but you're wasting your time trying to talk me into Landon Dickerson or Quinn Miernans. I don't believe in either of those guys. Landon Dickerson might be good, but I don't think he's going to fit our scheme, and I don't trust his knees. Yeah, I like Drew Dahlman a lot, Yarly. Drew Dahlman might be my favorite. All right. So let's take a look at these four guys. These are guys who I expect to go in round 5, 6, 7, or not get drafted at all. These are my favorite dudes who are going to go in that range of the draft. So first up, we have Dan Moore Jr. from Texas A&M. He's an Aggie. 6'6", 309 pounds, 5.340 time. So good size, good mass. Not a great 40 time, but it's reasonably workable at the position. His draft value, it looks like he's going to be about a 4th round pick. He has an outside chance of falling to the 5th. I feel like he's probably going to end up in the 5th round if I had to guess right now. I think this guy's going to fall a little bit. I'm going to say he's an early 5th round pick. He's got a ton of experience for the Aggies at tackle. And the Aggies have had a really good offense the last few years for the most part. So that's promising. He has the upper half strength to engage with defenders and sustain his blocks. So he's coming out of the box pretty strong. He's got long arms, which helps against speed rushers. He's a solid run blocker, so he's just an all-around pretty decent prospect. He's just an average athlete, which I don't love, and he does need to get a little bit better as a pass blocker. He has the attributes and the talent, but he needs to get better. He also needs to add some lower half strength. He has the upper half strength pretty good. He does need to get stronger down below the equator. He's When he becomes good, he should be pretty good in his own scheme. I will say that about this guy. That's what the people had to say on him. Seems like he's a good fit for his own scheme. So, Dan Moore Jr., interesting early fifth round prospect. I like him. Hey, 49er gold. Okay, prospect number 2 in this range. I like this. This guy might be my favorite player in this range. It's Alaric Jackson Jr., 22 years old from Iowa. And the thing with offensive linemen from Iowa is they have low ceilings, but they have high floors. This guy's 6'6", 318 pounds. He's coming out of the box ready to play physically. 5.38 40 time, not fast, but it's fine. I don't think that affects him that much. I think this guy's probably going to be a 6th-round pick. Walter Football's the only guy who really likes him. Everyone else thinks he's going to be a 6th or a 7th or undrafted. Hey, Micah. But this guy is versatile enough to potentially play guard or tackle in the NFL. He could play 4 different positions. We don't know exactly where he's going to be best. He's a good technician. He's got good experience. He knows how to play the position. You're not going to have to teach him how to play tackle when you draft him. He's going to be good out of the box. He can block at the second level. He's mobile enough to be able to throw blocks at the second level. He needs to get stronger and he needs to get a little meaner. And he might play guard in the NFL. But I think the overall point that you want to make on Alaric Jackson Jr. is that he should be able to play as a rookie, but he's not going to get that much better than he is as a rookie. He's kind of capped out. I don't expect this guy to ever be any more than an average tackle in the NFL, maybe an average starter. But I think he has a very good chance of getting there. Music Kingdom, I would take a cornerback of those 2 options, but there are actually a couple things I think I would rather do more. Yeah, Doyle's interesting too if he can get his off the field issues sorted. All right, so that's Alaric Jackson Jr. He's not super sexy, but you could get him and play him a few games in 2021 and I don't think it would go that badly. Apex, probably Monday. Probably Monday. Okay. Next up we have Josh Ball Jr., 22 years old from Marshall. I like this guy too. He's 6'8". 6'8". That is a frame. That is a frame you can put more weight on. 308 pounds, runs a 5.1940. So good mix of size and relatively good speed. I like it. The Draft Network thinks he's going to be a 6th-round pick. Pro Football Network does too. Everyone else thinks he's going in the 7th or undrafted. I'm going to guess that Josh Ball is a late 6th-round pick. Yes, Micah, I went over Hudson a little bit ago. The short version with Hudson is just I like him, but I'm not in love with him. I don't think he's stellar at any one thing. Um, he might be a little bit limited, but he's a decent enough prospect. Also, he might have to redshirt because he has a lack of experience. Okay, so anyway, Josh Ball, he's got a very appealing combination of size, athleticism, and quickness. I mean, when you're 6'8" and you run a 5.240, I'm going to listen to what you have to say. He's got good experience at left tackle. He played a lot of left tackle in college. He's great at blocking speed rushers. He uses his length well to keep speed rushers off his quarterback. He's also got flexibility in his body, which gives him the leverage to handle the bull rushers. What is redshirt? It just means you're not going to play, Ethan. It just means you're not really going to get on the field as a rookie. He's got good lateral movement, which allows him to stay in front of these speed rushers well. The downside with Josh Ball, he's not a very good run blocker as of right now. The Goat House, an NFL channel that breaks down NFL stuff and went over Hudson, said he watched a lot of Hudson stuff and said he never got beat off the edge. Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it, Micah. I like him too. I'm just a little concerned about his lack of experience. So anyway, Josh Ball, he's not a great run blocker yet, although I think his size will allow him to become a good one eventually. and I think he's just going to add a little bit of mass to his frame, and it's going to be Gucci with him. So I like Josh Ball. I think the flaws in his game are things that he can easily take care of just by putting on some extra weight, which he should be able to do. He's 6'8". All right. We got one guy left, and then we're going to sit and spin for a minute. Tommy Doyle, 22 years old from Miami of Ohio. This guy's very interesting because he's coming out of the box bigger and badder than most guys you will find in college football, period, much less this late. Tommy Doyle's probably going to be about a seventh round pick, if I had to guess, based off projections. Yeah, Micah, I think that has to do with his lack of relative experience. Okay, so Tommy Doyle, he's 6'8", 326 pounds, and runs a 5.2840. So he's big. This guy's big, and he's not that slow, honestly. He's slow, but for his size, that is not bad at all. I got no beef with Tommy Doyle's foot speed relative to his size. Like I said, I think he's probably going to be a seventh round pick if I had to take a guess. He's played left tackle and right tackle in college. He played both sides, and he's extremely strong for a prospect who you might get in the seventh round. This dude has muscles on muscles, so he's going to be really good at run blocker. He's got good grip strength, so when he grabs you, he does not let go. It's hard to disengage with him once he engages. Now, he is an average athlete, but maybe we can live with that because he's so big and strong. He will need to develop as a pass protector. And as you guys know, when you're a tackle in the NFL, your ability to protect your QB is more important than anything you can do. So he just has some technical issues he needs to iron out. So look for us to maybe get Tommy Doyle in the seventh round and just have him sit for a couple years, and then we'll see what we got. Final note with him, he's got off field issues. He's got some off field issues. I don't know exactly what they are, but we need to do our due diligence there and figure it out. So that's Tommy Doyle, and that's all the left tackle prospects that caught my eye in this draft. We got five really top guys who could potentially start year one, except for maybe Walker Little because he's, not played football in 2 years. And then we got four guys who are late round flyers and sleepers and projects. I like all of them. Um, Not sure about Leatherwood, but I think there are some real assets to him. I'll bet money we go skill position. Um, First pick. I kind of hope we do Team 24. I'm coming around to really hoping for that, honestly. Okay, so we're going to stream for another 7 minutes, and then I'm going to go. I got some stuff I got to do. I will probably stream more Far Cry tonight with snacks. But yeah, I got to get out of here and take care of some business. Yeah, Cosme's my guy. Cosme is my guy, Micah. If we could get Cosme, I wouldn't even be mad that he wouldn't play that much as a rookie, maybe. It depends on if he can beat out Brandon Shell, which he could, by the way. He's that good. He could beat out Shell as a rookie, playing one of the toughest positions to play, I think, as a rookie. Yeah, Ethan, I mean, you can't fall in love with one prospect. You can't just fall in love with one guy and be like, I want that guy no matter what. That's bad, okay? You got to have a wide spectrum of guys you want to take. That way you have good choices when your picks come up and you can make rational, reasonable decisions based off reality. Like, few years ago, the Dallas Cowboys got so obsessed with the idea of taking a defensive end, they spent a first round pick on Taco Charlton, who was out of basically off the team after 2 years because he was so bad. Because they got so obsessed with the idea of taking a defensive end, they were just like, we got to take one of these guys. Yeah, Micah, I would expect him to take Dwayne Brown's spot. And by the way, the Seahawks have done that too, I think. I think we taking LJ Collier was something we were doing because we were so desperate for a defensive end that we took whoever we could get, not realizing that the guy we took probably was going to move to defensive tackle. Not ragging on LJ Collier because I think he's going to be pretty good for us this year, and I think he's developing slowly but surely. But yeah, I think we probably misunderstood what we needed with that pick. Okay, 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Um, if there's anything else that occurs to you, let me know. By the way, we have not done right tackles yet. I have 9 more right tackle prospects that we're going to review over the next 2 days or 3 days. So know that we are not done. We still have more guys to look at. But those guys project better as right tackles. These guys project more as left tackles. Yeah, David, I would hope so. I think it would be very stupid if you decide, okay, we're going to get this guy, and if he's not there, we're just going to trade down. You have to have a big board. I have a big board, and I'm just a fan. I have a big board. You guys are going to see it come draft day, but I have a big board too. Micah, I am going to talk a little bit about linebacker prospects, but I don't think we need a linebacker. I will talk about it in a video in a few days. I think maybe in a week actually. But I don't see linebacker being that big of a deal. So I can't justify scouting these linebacker prospects. Maybe you bring in some minimum UDFA guy behind Daryl Taylor at Sam, but I don't even think you need that. Like we have 5 linebackers on the team right now, and I think that's gonna have to be good enough. Wagner, Brooks, Taylor, Barton, BBK, make it work. I think what would top it would be giving away Travis Homer for a cheeseburger and a large milkshake. We might need the Homer roster spot. Are you going to do the mock draft again? Yes. Monday, I'm going to be posting round 3 of my mock draft. Although, the further we go into the mock draft, the less sense it's going to make because hell if I know. Yeah, we don't need another linebacker anymore, I don't think, Rabbitron. Absolutely. Uh, I think Alden Smith should free up Daryl Taylor to move to linebacker, and he's got us covered. I made a video this morning, kind of going over potential snap counts, and yeah, we're good. We're good. No, Micah Brooks is the Wagner replacement. Okay, Brooks is the Wagner replacement. Brooks is a middle linebacker by trade. He's moving to middle linebacker when Wagner retires. If you want to find somebody, you need to find a will to replace Brooks when Brooks moves. But you don't have to do that in this draft because that's not going to be a problem for a year. Um, I don't think you have to worry yourself about that in this draft. I think that would be overloading the position. But I am going to spend a little bit of time talking about linebacker just because I think you can make the argument that we could start thinking about the future there. But I'm trying to win a Super Bowl now. I don't give a damn about the future. I want to win now. And drafting a linebacker for 2022 or in 2023 is not going to help us win now. How do you see the differences in us looking into a tackle compared to looking into another tight end? Tight end can help now. Another tight end, we could get a tight end who's better than Will Dissly and Colby Parkinson real easy. If we get a dynamic playmaker as a secondary tight end behind Gerald Everett, or maybe even in front of Gerald Everett, our offense becomes lethal because right now we just have Will Dissly in his 5.140 time. Tackle is less likely to help us in 2021 because Dwayne Brown is pretty locked in, and I still think Shell's pretty good. It's not going to be easy to take Shell's job from him. He's a veteran. Rookies, it's not easy for them to play right tackle because you're going up against speed rushers all the time. Okay, so that's going to do it for this stream, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I got to take care of some stuff. I will see you in stream later. Peace out. Go Hawks. That's my take on left tackle prospects. I like them, but I don't know if we're going to be able to use a pick on one. All right.